Divorce Dad Diaries, day 375, and today I took the kids to Orana Park after I popped over to the cafe and got a nice latte. But as I mentioned last time I was here, I have an annual pass, and it's a beautiful 3-day weekend, and I wanted to do something that I hadn't done the last couple of times I came here, and that's go and see the animal viewings. So they have one on like almost every 15 minutes at various different parts of the park, and the first one is the meerkats, which are like the first animals you see when you walk in. I love these little guys, and one thing I learned from watching the feeding is just how aggressive they are. They were like growling and hissing at each other, and they're these tiny little fur balls. It was very cute. Like, I know you're trying your hardest to look aggressive, but you're just so cute. We then followed this wise goose to the next exhibit, which was the keas, where I discovered that keas were not immune to that whole bird thing where they looked like lint goblins when they were born and somehow turned into these majestic parrots. But if you don't know anything about keas, they're definitely one of my favourite New Zealand birds. They are so smart. In fact, ages ago when my family briefly lived in Oamaru, I remember it was an issue where they would peel the rubber seals off the car. Which is actually why, as you can see in the video, they give them their food in it's almost a puzzle box. They have to figure out the puzzle in order to get their food, so it keeps them stimulated. From there, we popped over to the reptile house. I'm not sure if I've been in this section before, but it's got New Zealand's native dinosaur, the tuatara. And from there, it was time to feed the spider monkeys. I didn't realise, but they actually have to cross this rope bridge to get to their little house that they have. The way they move their tails, they use it like a third arm to help them cross the bridges and climb trees and whatnot. We then head past the geese because we're now on to our next feeding, which is the kids. It was about 12 o'clock now and they were starting to complain, so here we are at the cafe. So I've just ordered some food at the cafe, left the kids there while I went over to the office because I found a stack of cards down by the lion enclosure, like 7 or 8 cards. Someone's like almost their whole wallet's fallen out. There's a gold card in there, there's credit cards, all sorts of stuff, a farmlands card. They've all got names on it, so I've just dropped them off there and hopefully whoever's lost their cards today down by the lion enclosure can get their stuff back. It was actually a couple of hours later when I was leaving when I noticed I put a sign up at reception, so if you know these people, please let them know that their cards are available to be collected at Orana Park. But I smashed back the food the kids didn't eat, and then went ahead and looked at some of the other animals, including the otters. These are a personal fave of mine, and today they were right up on the glass. So cute. And then we thought, why not hop in the shuttle and go on a tour around the whole park? But unfortunately, it wasn't leaving for another hour, so we thought, you know what? Let's just go play on the playground for an hour. The kids love this playground. It's got 2 of their favourite things. 1, a flying fox, and 2, a trampoline. And then we head back to the shuttle, waited in line where my son pointed out that there was a Wi-Fi bar in the clouds. Clearly they spend too much time on devices. And then I said, let's go back home. So we were too far back in line, and by the time we got to the shuttle, there just wasn't enough space for all 5 of us. And my options were either we walk around the rest of the park, where my youngest is probably going to complain about being sore, or we wait another half hour for the next shuttle, where my kids are going to again complain where they're bored. And I was like, you know what, we'll just go home. And I consider this to be one of the primary advantages of an annual pass, because the thing is, we've seen that other side of the park twice before. And next time we go there, we'll just go and see that part of the park that we missed. It's not a big deal. You're not forced to do everything in one sitting. And to be honest, we were still there for like 4 or 5 hours or something. So I'm ready to lie down. Not yet though, because first off I need to wake up Casper, who at 5 years old claims he's a big boy but still likes to have his naps occasionally. Only after I woke him up, he then went to play Xbox and fell asleep doing that. Clearly he needed it after all the walking today. But then it was on to dinner, which I wasn't in the mood to make, but the biggest hurdle is always getting started. And once I get started, I get into the flow and it's fine. And I'm doing a creamy pasta, which is really easy. A fave of mine, and I have some leftover cheese from the Akaroa trip the other weekend. I have no idea what this cheese is, but I'm going to assume it's a cheddar, like a Canterbury Red. After trying it, I'm pretty confident that's what it is, and it's really good. Feels like a bit... feels like sacrilege just putting this into a pasta. But the quality of the meal was only as good as the quality of the ingredients you put in it, so we're going ahead and chuck that in, and it was delicious, and I will catch you on the flip side.